welcome back to the Chill Sounds and Breakdowns podcast, where today we have our first full band here. Well, four-fifths of the band, and we have, I mean, who are you guys? I don't know.
We are Badasstronauts.
In honor of Badasstronauts, I wore the more spaciest shirt I had.
Oh,
I appreciate
Thank
that.
you so
Really
much.
appreciate
I tried to find a cowboy hat because I wanted to be a true space punk cowboy.
There you go.
Which I want to know how did you guys land on that for your Instagram name?
I could go about it. So it took us a pretty long time to figure out our name. We were throwing out a bunch of different things. Badasstronauts was a placeholder eventually, and then Space Punk Cowboys was another option, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. But eventually we decided to kind of use that as an alternate name /
like a genre.
Yeah, a description. A
description
is a very good word for it. Yeah.
It's kind of a good one because they both feel like they're in the same realm of I guess thematically.
Yeah.
Space Punk Cowboys and Badasstronauts kind of have the same feel and theme to it, so that's pretty cool. I just always wondered it because I'm always searching you guys. And I'm like, wait, that's not the name. I gotta look something else. But that's cool because now I feel it fits the whole motif kind of thing.
I feel like that's our genre really. Is Space Punk Cowboys.
Space Punk Cowboys?
That's how my band is. Space Punk Cowboys.
Yeah, people are like, what do y'all play? It's like, it's kind of space punk cowboy music. That's the best that we got.
But, honestly, that genre talk with people is just so weird, at times.
So
I feel like there's no real way to, describe it because, you yourself, you know everything that influenced in it, but, you can't name all of those in, your genre.
Especially when you have 5 people who all have different back influences. It's where do we start?
Yeah, people always, with, Under Oblivion, people used to always ask, so what genre are you guys playing? We're like, it's a bit this and that and this and that, and then people were, uninterested by, the third thing you named. I'm just I don't care, dude, just say. So then we, literally was just it's just metalcore, that's fine.
Right.
I don't need this going.
The most specific genre you can.
But that's cool, you guys made up your own, you know what I mean? Space Punk Cowboy. And he's what? He's what is that? Go to a show, find out.
Honestly,
does it put in your head, And
exactly, what do you think it means? And it's and there's a whole bunch that it could really mean. But
you could say it's whatever you want it to be.
Yes. Ooh.
You gotta make them think.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yes. That's some long form storytelling.
Form the associations this band is what I want it to be. It's what I need.
Ooh.
Yes. I think he is, yeah.
I'm for hire if anybody. Yeah. I'm out of work at the moment.
We found our next ghostwriter.
Cool. I just wanted I've seen you guys play a bunch of times now. I've seen you guys play a lot. I think the most recent one was at Gas Monkey. How was that?
Ooh.
It was such a nice stage out
there. It was dope. Outside, that was our first show back since the pandemic shut everything down.
Really?
So we were super freaked out, nervous. We were oh my god, it's a big stage, it's outside, we got so many people to show up.
There was a lot of people out there.
Yeah.
Decent turnout. How long had it been before, since you guys...
January 20th was the last show we had played, 2020.
In 2020,
yeah,
okay.
We played at the Ridgely in Fort Worth.
Mm-hmm. Oh my goodness.
That was in January. That March, everything was shut down.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That was so rough for, I feel it was really rough for, any, artist, especially, if you were, just getting, hitting your stride.
Literally, yeah.
Playing, all of a sudden, everything's shut down, and, you can't do anything. It's I'm stuck into, what do we do now? Okay, we can write music, I guess, but, that whole live performance thing is something that you need to have. I guess it kind of pushes you.
It fuels
you to write. Yeah, it fuels you to to want to write music because you're if I write this song, I get to play it
right
here, and it's gonna be great. So how's that writing process been for you guys? Correct me if I'm wrong, but do you guys have any actual music released yet?
So we have
I've been hearing there's something.
Yeah. So we have a little 3-track demo that Thomas here recorded for us years ago.
Yes, that was in 2018.
Yeah, a long time ago. But we do have a studio album that is set to release
October
30th.
Yes. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yes.
Woo.
Eve.
Yes.
Yeah, so we're doing we're doing a big little costume party thing, and so we'll be releasing details about that here pretty soon after Chill Sound.
Exclusive, baby.
Yeah.
We got one.
You heard it here first, folks.
Cool. Like, I mean, so I know like you're kind of like, you know, you're kind of like waiting to release details about that, you know. But as far as like the music for that, like how long have you guys been working on that? Because like literally, you guys have been around for a while. I'm like, man, like, and I get it. Like I've had like songs that are super like old for people, and they're like, oh, you just released that. I was like, no, man.
Yeah.
To kind of answer that, kind of like ties into like how the band even like started, you know, like in like the first batch of songs were written by us two mainly, you know, and they were just kind of collaborations off ideas. There's about 2 songs on the album actually that we all collectively wrote as a band.
Okay.
And going from there, you know, we just started off playing that, maybe about 2 years of practice. A lot of speed bumps happened before we could even start playing shows.
Yeah, we were technically, like, how long has it been? Did we figure it out how long we've actually technically been a band before we started playing shows live?
It was
like
March of 2016.
March of 2016.
That's when we were like, let's be a band, and then it took us...
Instead of just, like, tossing it around and just, like, talking about it, like, that's whenever it was,
Did you guys jam
like,
before you actually, like, became a band?
Yeah,
like,
we used to...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so you guys, like, have been playing together.
Oh, yeah, so we
actually,
all...
Yeah, we went to a... you were about to hop on actually.
Hold on, he's got it.
So we actually went to a program called School of Rock. I don't know if you ever heard of it.
I have heard of it. I to this point in my life, I didn't know anybody that would like had done it.
Yes.
Oh hell yeah! Oh yeah! We all 5 of us participated in School of Rock, and I joined in late in the game, but our bassist Todd, he was there for
The first one, right?
Yeah,
Out of
he was
all of
like
us?
one of the very first members to ever get there, and he did that ever since he was 10. The
Oh,
more
wow.
the years went on, the more that we started to go in. So we all met there, and we kind of honed our craft in when it came to performing as a band and whatnot, just really cutting loose there.
Yeah.
And that helped tremendously once we were out by ourselves and trying to be a band, you know, without the help of adults, you know, telling you what to do, just doing it on your own. That knowledge and that history helped out quite a bit.
I bet that's like gotta help because you kind of get like your bearings on like on performing and like playing and like writing and things like, and then like now once you're done with that, like, and then you have to like kind of come into your own and like what are we gonna sound like, what are we writing, what do I like to write, kind of thing. So the creativity, what kind of influenced you guys like as far as when you actually started writing your own music?
Like when we very first started?
Yeah, was there anything like, I know this is probably gonna be individualistic, too,
Right,
so
yeah.
whatever. So I guess we'll go around, but like what do you think like you were trying to either capture or emulate or, you know, anything like that?
I mean, I think when we all first started, at least speaking for some of us, like I know we were super into bands like Alisana, like Pierce the Veil, like what are some other ones? Like
I mean, we like All Time Low, but that's not the sound we were trying to chase.
Yeah,
but
it's
we liked the feeling of like singing to the crowd and the idea of the crowd singing back to you.
Yeah.
Like
the use, like just
the
those,
energy.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
Those are the songs that made us the most excited, and to feel that made us feel alive. Like it's you know.
So kind of chasing, it's something I actually touched up with Ryker the other day. Is like some people follow like musical influences, other people follow energies or emotions that like you captured like when you're out and like listening to these bands. Like you know, I don't want to sound like that, but I want to make someone feel the way this is making me feel.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah.
And how it's making the crowd move, how like the night like went, like those are things like people like also get influenced by. So that's kind of cool that you guys were trying to like capture just like not really typically like a musical influence, more like an energy, like a vibe, and like an actual emotion.
And I feel like too, once the album does come out, and like if you listen to it in chronological order, because I think we recommend it that way.
It's definitely intentional.
Yeah, it's a
definitely-
vibe, and I feel like, you know, you kind of tell songs we wrote way back then to songs that were like a little more recent, like when we were starting to play shows and kind of like, you know what I mean? So I feel like you can definitely hear our growth and influences literally throughout the year of us growing up, like within this new album coming out. So it's like dope for us, you know what I mean? To look back, because it's like, oh, us as kids to kind of like us now, a little more mature. And even then, like songs we're working on past this album, like now, I'm personally like pretty getting up there with my skills and everything else. Like it's very much more of a mature sound, I feel like.
I feel like we go for like a Well, speaking on my end, you know, like I definitely love, like I'm very metal influenced, you know, coming up, I very much love metalcore myself, you know, but as I got older, it was nice to kind of like
2008, 2010 era, man.
Man, dude, oh man, I can't even talk to you about 2008. But like, just even like going from there, like just started listening to more different genres of music, and that's when like I was started opening my horizons to like what I wanted to play, you know. And so I really love like early '90s, late '90s music. Just kind of like everything was kind of alternate, you know, alternative was kind of a thing.
Yeah.
But it was just nice to kind of like go off that idea and kind of run with it, you know?
Yeah.
And then, like, I feel like the cowboy in our name is definitely more groove central, you know? Like, we definitely love, like, switching up rhythms, you know? That's definitely how I'd like to take the band, you know?
I think that's what I've really noticed, like, when I see you guys live. Is, like, that's when, like, I'll be listening to, and then, like, if you ever see, like, just my head go, like, I was like, wait, what just happened? Like, the rhythm just changed, and I'm like, that was dope. Like, I don't know how they did that, but they just did it, you know what I mean? Which is like makes me like a little like upset because I'm like I want to hear that again. I was like, nah, I have to wait till the next time they play. So when this album comes out, like I'll be like really happy. I was like, oh, I can finally like listen and figure out how they made that like switch up, the change and stuff. But that's really cool. I feel like influences you do grow in them because you realize that you don't have to listen to exactly what you want to play. And like, because if you only get influences from like the genre that you think you want to do, it's like you get stuck in a box. But once you start realizing that your influences come from anything you listen to, like basically anywhere you pull up different things. Like, I'm trying to think of a reference out, but there's been some where people are like, "Oh, where'd this come from?" Like, "Oh, that was like this Spanish song that I listened to." Like, like who would have thought that? You know, like, and it's just you start listening to, and like your influences come from everywhere because that's all we like when we create music is I believe like that's kind of what we are. We're just our own unique mixture of like every influence.
Yeah, literally every moment that you've gone through like is gonna go ahead and influence like your writing process, and I feel like that's what makes like being creative in the first place. Oh shoot! I think that's what.
Oh, that no. Just gonna be you, just like. You have to caption it.
Yeah. Closed caption.
Closed captioning at the bottom.
Okay, hold on. What was I saying? Oh, I do feel like all the like moments or like music or even like media that you like have or experience, listen to, watch, whatever, like that ends up making like the actual writing and creative process like fun, I feel like, because it's like, okay, how can we take these like 80s Japanese pop songs that we like so much and incorporate it into like a space punk cowboy vibe, you know what I mean? So it definitely is like fun, I think, experimenting, and sometimes we'll try things and they're so cool and then we can never play them again because it was just that vibe like in the moment,
It's in that moment, like it worked.
I feel like a lot of the not a lot of the songs, but songs we have written prior, that are not on this album, we do have like on this album alone we have about 2 instrumentals, right off the bat. We just love writing instrumentals just because of how they actually feel, we can just let the song go on for about 5-6 minutes, and it just feels right, just because it needs to be that long.
Yeah,
I feel like with this band, we're not really afraid to like play things out.
Okay, what's our longest song that's on the album?
On this album.
Yeah, don't talk about other albums.
Hold on.
It's not easy.
You're giving them away for the next one.
This is play. This is humor.
We have written a 3-day song. That's a thing though. Like the guy from Radiohead. What's his name?
Tom York.
Tom York.
Yeah, I don't know why I just slipped. Yeah, he wrote like there was like an art exhibit, but he wrote a score that was like 72 hours long.
Oh my gosh.
That's the exhibit. So anytime you went, the exhibit was 3 days long, and like anytime you went, it was no 2 minutes were alike, and this dude wrote 72 hours worth of it.
That is wild.
Like, it's insane.
You just keep extending it, just never stop.
And yeah, it was like no 2 minutes are the same. I'm like, how do you do that?
Yeah, how do you
that sounds like a challenge.
Sure.
That's the next step.
I was like, okay.
We're going to beat that. We're saying it here. Call the world.
Hope you brought your jammies.
You can really only do that with music because it's not like, a painting can be 3 days long. Or like that. Yeah. Movies can, but that's definitely music, but just in a visual form, as I like to say it.
Yeah.
A motion picture, if you will.
A motion.
But,
It's just a bunch of sounds put together. No, yeah, that's really cool. I feel like, I don't know if it's like as I've gotten older or anything, but it's just like as time has gone by, like I enjoy instrumentals. Like sometimes I was like, I just don't want to hear. I was like, I just want to hear like instruments like play. So I like listen to a lot of, not a lot of ambient stuff, but a lot of like Chan, like
oh yeah,
like a bunch of bands like that. And I was like, oh, it's really nice to just like hear like just music being played instrumental, but that's kind of cool that you guys are exploring that avenue and kind of not being like, oh, we got to write like in a traditional sense. Like, no, let's just write the song and see like kind of how it feels. Because I feel like that's how instrumentals like kind of have to go. It's like it's all vibe. Like it's always just like
because there's like words in the music, you know what I mean, that like lead you to feel a certain way. But then at that point, it's kind of up to you how you're like taking that. And I feel like from moment to moment, even especially live, like Thomas will sit there and do some crazy solo stuff, and it's like everyone's played enough to have the structure down, so it's no big deal. But like, I feel like sometimes based on how TJ's feeling, you're gonna get a totally different vibe from a song. You know what I mean?
Well, that's cool because you create like unique experiences, and it's just for that moment. Like, what was I playing? Like, what was right then? You know what I mean? Like then in that moment. And that's really cool that you guys do that. Like even experiment on stage. So I feel I feel like that's like a big thing like with you guys. As far as like what I've like heard and stuff like that, it's like very like experimental driven. It's like you're just gonna try stuff, and if it sticks, it sticks. Like if not, but it's gonna feel right kind of thing, like in the moment. So that's really cool that you guys kind of explore that.
Yeah.
We've also had some mishaps while that's happened as well.
They can't all be zingers.
Everything's a lesson, you know.
I want an example. You can't drop
Would you really like to know like an example? It would be the first Chill Sounds and Breakdowns.
Really?
Yes.
Oh man.
Wait, what happened?
No, it was whenever because that was the 420 weekend. When we got a little.
Oh yeah.
We got a little.
We're having a little fun on the festivity.
We ended up being more drunk than anything. That's the funniest thing.
Yeah.
Slightly inebriated.
I think we were like in a festival mood, so it was just
having a good time. Like it's
still a great show.
Looking
Still
back
a great
at it, was
show.
just like,
so good.
Wow, like I was just like, I am more drunk than I need to be right now.
You're realizing it like as soon as you pick up your stuff. I'm like, oh no.
Yeah. I'm just ready to play this set, and then I look up and I'm just like, holy shit, there's so many people.
They're all staring at me.
It was only our fourth show at that point, you know.
Oh my goodness! So on top of that, like
our first show actually was at Gary's Garage.
Yeah, it was.
Oh really?
Yeah. It was a previous one at Gary's Garage, so that place does hold a special place in our hearts for
a little
us.
Environmental. You're really the environment.
We're back, you know.
There's some
can handle this. Like I've been here before, and it's like, oh, I'm drunk.
Yeah, there's been a few of those where it's like, oh, probably shouldn't have downed that vodka soda before.
I learned that one time, and I think it was the one time that like I puked.
Oh no!
I was like, I was hella nervous, and I'm just like, because like after, I understood it for like the first show we played, and even the first few, but for some reason, I think like 5-6 shows in, like my body would go numb as soon as like our first song started, and I'm like, I feel fine.
Yeah.
My whole body
The
is tingly right now. Like, why is it doing that? And I'm like sober. Like I'm not even like any. I'm like, maybe I need to get drunk or just take a few shots before it. And I like took a few, and like I'm playing, and I'm like, something ain't right.
Oh, no.
I'm like, I just like ran to the back and was like,
oh no!
Like by the drum set, and I'm just like, all right, just like wiping out. I was like, I feel bad for whoever's using this mic next.
Oh, gross. It happens. I've had a couple of those on stage where we're like getting down. One was at Red Goose. I think I like that I held myself together well, but there was a point where we're all jamming out, right? It's a breakdown. We're getting it. I just held out some like crazy long note. It's a good time. Everyone's screaming. And then I come back up. My body was like, you need to calm the fuck down. We're about to throw up on all of these people right here. And I think I'd like just didn't sing for a split second and let y'all like kind of handle that, because I was like,
I think that was the decision.
Yeah.
This part is now an instrumental.
Just vibe for a second.
What's crazy
doing this on purpose, man. Like, right now, today.
We're just feeling it.
Tonight, you don't need no words, right? We're just gonna vibe together.
It's crazy, like being younger, like I was able to push my voice to like, actual like screaming vocals,
those screams.
like being able to push it high. Nowadays, like pushing above a yell, like just sends me into like this.
Kind of rough.
You know, it's rough, man.
Yeah, you used to get it.
I didn't realize until we were gonna play like 2 last shows, and unfortunately we had to drop both of them. But we were practicing, and I'm like, oh, you know, I was really excited because all my singing parts, I'm like, I sing so much better now. It'd been a year before the pandemic that we hadn't played, and then like then we're like excited we're gonna play Chill Sounds, like we're gonna come back that, and then like it gets canceled because of the pandemic. So now it's been 2 years. Now it's like 2.5, and we're gonna play our first 2 shows, and I'm like, oh yeah, my singing's like great here, and I'm like, I haven't screamed in 2.5 years. I realized that I haven't even jammed out to songs and like scream. I'm like, this sounds. And then we were practicing here in the living room, and I'm just like. They were playing, and they were like loud enough to where like I was like just like trying to scream over here, and I would try it, and nothing would come out. I'm like, I am screwed. Yeah. Like so screwed. Like, and they're like, he's like, so you got it right? Like, yeah, it's gonna be. I'll figure it out.
No big deal. It was cool. Yeah.
Don't worry about me. I heard you mess up earlier. So I just want you to know that I forgive you for messing up. So if anybody else messes up, don't be hard on them, okay?
I'm glad they don't hold people accountable to that.
But wait, like we finally had like an actual like practice, and I just like belted it out. I'm like, oh, like it's back. I think I was just like scared of like hitting like those like screams again because I didn't realize like, how much like, effort it took and like practice. Obviously, before I was practicing all the time, so it was the confidence was there in the sound. But once I started practicing, I was like, oh, okay, like I got it, like it's fine. But I was very nervous that I was just like, I am gonna have to just get guest vocals.
Yeah. Oh no.
I was about to put out who wants to do guest vocals for every one of these songs.
No, that's a lot. Even like, you know, we've had moments where we haven't practiced, like, because we practice every Wednesday, and we've done that for like years. You know what I mean? Give or take little holidays here and there or whatever. We just are like, let's not do it today. But it's like those few times, like, I feel like we haven't really got it. Like, coming back, even after years and years of playing the same songs, we're all like, what was I supposed to do here?
It's all about we're down to specifics now at this point. Yeah. Like, but. I don't have much else, but sorry.
No, that's it. That's all I got.
Give us like a run through, and like we've got it back.
Right.
You know.
It's just like I feel like it's just like keeping the set tight. It's just like, like you have like you. I mean, you wrote the songs, you played them, you know like how it goes, but that muscle memory's got.
Yeah, you would think.
Like, it gives, like you know, it gives after a while. You know, like if you're like, oh, I can do it, and then you start again, I'm like. Oh, okay, like it's a little rusty. It's just like
what were the lyrics again?
I've had that where I'm like, I'll do that. People will ask me like, "What do you say here?" And I'm like,
I have no idea.
No, like I just kind of I was like, do you know the first word? I'll get the rest of it. You tell me.
Literally.
It happens. It happens. Like I when people ask me out of context, like without me singing, because I can sing it like from the beginning to the end. Of course. You ask me in the middle, like, what do you say here? I'm like.
What?
You said, do I say
it's like the ABCs. I gotta say like the whole line to get to that one. Like,
basically,
like okay, this is what I said.
Yep.
But I would say like even though like we like sometimes we don't practice, we'll probably maybe go like 2-3 weeks without practicing. The first practice back is always a little rough, but I think we got to a point now where like we know when like we're tight, we know we're just like okay, this is where we need to be.
Yeah.
And then especially like with writing new music and stuff, like we just kind of. Even like learning these older songs, some songs took like, okay, we need to kind of learn this in parts, or hey, we listened to this one time through, we can kind of like feel our way through it, you know, kind of add more to it.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of like a healthy balance of the both, you know?
I mean, especially like if you've got your music ranges for like a really long time, you know what I mean? So like you've written some of those songs like very early on, and now you're like writing a completely like new one, so it's like you still have to keep in touch basically with your own music, you know, because like it's such a span, and you don't play like that, you don't write like that anymore, and that's why like practice is a thing. That's why so one thing that people can agree on, you know, I mean, like you have to practice.
You have to
play, you know, play well. Like it's just like a thing that like, you really have to do. I guess you said the band itself started in 2016. What do you guys have any like actual like goals like for yourself like from here on out? I mean, you guys are obviously releasing like music now.
Yeah.
And then, like what? I mean, after that, like, are you looking forward to anything in specific? Just kind of just want to write new music? Or you
Yeah.
I saw your eyes.
I was like, all right, well, I was like, sorry, I was like, okay,
I got something for him.
Definitely, you know, like to kind of like start a timeline. You know, we've been wanting to put this album out you know, ever since these songs were written, you know. Now that we finally have a set date, we have ideas on, like, where we want to do next. We definitely have a couple, like, songs here in the works. Definitely things we're ready to move on to, but we're ready to get these songs out of the way first. Yeah. Not out of the way, you know. We do.
I know it's a perfect sentiment. Like, get them out of the way. Like, it's like we just need to release these and like just move on from them. Like, cause it kind of keeps you there. You know what I mean? Like, cause you have music, and until you put it out, like you either don't move past it, or you have the tendency to be like, well, what if we go back and like do something to it?
Exactly.
Change it. So like it's just finalizing stuff. Like, it doesn't mean like that you're done with that music. It just means like
you can only like nitpick so much with your songs. Exactly. Do you know what I mean? Or you'll just end up in a cycle.
But you give it time, and you will nitpick it forever.
Exactly. It's just a different song at that point.
Yeah, and it ends up being completely different.
And like a point you brought up earlier to like sorry, just had it and it floated away. You had mentioned like how when you were seeing us live, you kind of like in a split second things kind of change up. Yeah. That's another reason why I want this album out so much. Is just we've had so many people individually come up to us and to say we really like this one song in particular, this song right here, how you played it this version. Like, where else can we find it? You know, we have the 3 songs on SoundCloud, but you know we're ready to get these songs out and get to where we want to be now. When we're kind of feeling not new vibes, but definitely bringing in something new, trying to create essence, if you will.
Gotcha. I mean, it might just be where you are now. You know what I mean? It's not even like where we're trying to go. Like, like you guys, it might just be like, oh, this is the way we write right now. Like, I want to kind of, you're writing new stuff, and it's like, this is what I want to work on. Like, but we have this stuff that we have to like put out first.
Right.
So I think that'll help you guys. Now that you're releasing that, you'll be able to be like, okay, let's focus on like where we're at right now, and let's write that stuff. Like, that's the kind of stuff that you want to write.
We literally have, like, not to spoil too much, but we literally have, like, a whole another, like, project idea, like, and I want to say, like, in the works, because we're already pretty, like, halfway deep into it, 'cause, you know, like, we're still waiting to, like, get this other stuff, and there's, like, a lot of, like, really fun, creative things that we're wanting to do to, like, promote it and, like, incorporate into it, and so it's, like, like you were saying, it's like we kind of just got to get this first step to like, you know, fully go on for like what else we have planned, because that's like super cool, and I'm super stoked about what's coming up, but it's like, you know, can't really like
just start like moving. It's like, oh, like we're writing new stuff. It's like, what about the else? It's like, oh, it's there. Like,
what doesn't really help in this regard is the fact that we've recorded this album last year, so we've been sitting on it, you know, for over a year. And
that's gotta be tough.
With everything happening the way it did last year, you know, we didn't feel it was just the right time to release stuff that we've put years into. Essentially, this album has been in the making ever since we became a band. Because, you know, there's still we wrote these songs while we were a band, but none of these songs that we've actually written has stayed the same over the course of time. And it's just not only are we growing up as a band, the songs are growing up with us. But it teaches you a little thing about patience. Because,
a year holding on to an album, like
we wanted to get out of the way mainly because we want people to have an access to it. You know, those songs on SoundCloud. You know, the drums were recorded with one microphone. Imagine that, one microphone right next to the snare. And so we made do, but we're excited to show at least those 3 songs plus some more and a more. How do you say, more tolerable? Yeah, well, just, you know, fancy.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, you get excited, like, once you're, like, music, like, it evolves, like you said, those are, like, those 3 songs, they've already evolved, like, in changing with songwriting, and then even sonically, like, now they're like, oh, like, now they're gonna sound, like, the way that I want them to sound, kind of thing. So that's gotta be hella exciting. But damn, a year, like that's gotta be tough to hold on to that for.
We got to record it with JoJo Centennial, who puts out amazing. I'm so sorry, Centennial. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Shout out JoJo.
Shout out JoJo, the biggest shout out. Anybody who knows. I mean, he puts out fantastic work, and we just can't wait to get it out so that people can listen to it.
That's really cool. How was working with them?
Oh, so good.
It was great.
So good. Are you gonna?
I'll
okay.
That wasn't. That was
keep
weird
going.
noises,
He was welcoming.
This is the part of the podcast where we just make weird noises.
This is an interpretive part.
This is the instrumental. All right.
I mean, working with JoJo was great. Just having the established setup that he has, you know that where your money's going is like you're gonna like get your product's worth.
No, absolutely, yeah.
He was very comfortable to record there. It didn't feel rushed. Didn't feel like anything like that. And so it was a positive experience. I'll always look positively on it. I think that you have a goal of eventually being able to record things yourself, but any chance that we get, we'd probably work with JoJo. So
I haven't got a chance to work with him yet, but literally everybody that I've heard work with JoJo is all positive stories, and everybody comes out with like songs and product and like you know things that they love, you know. So it's definitely like speaks to like his work and character that like not a single story I've heard where like oh like we got something garbage.
Yeah, it's a good mix of like from him of like, you know, professionalism and like, you know, you're getting like the quality like that you're wanting, but he's also like I think really personable in a way that he will challenge you like in the studio to be like, nah, like I know you kind of want to put a little of this like in there, like really hit that, or like, hey, don't worry, like we'll play around with these tones for 2 hours, like, you know what I mean? And so like you were confident in what you want, so it's like you know, even if you're feeling a little timid going in there, I feel like you'll leave JoJo's studio feeling like yeah, fucking, I killed that shit. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Big shit right now.
To add on that, even like we both play guitar in the band, and so like I don't have too much studio experience, so going into this was still fairly new to me. Yeah, you know, I've always done it a certain way, but coming into this, I didn't really know JoJo all that well, but just even coming in was just like so comfortable, just being able to like talk about other music in general, getting comfortable before we even got into recording, and then even recording itself, just like being able to kind of play off each other's ideas, you know, the freedom of just kind of like, you know, I like the way this noise sounds, you know, okay, I kind of want this effect on,
can I talk about the end of the one song?
Yeah.
Okay, alright, so we walked into the studio, can I say the name of the song, or do you...
Okay, it's a working title.
Anyway,
it's a working title.
Alright, there's
save some of this stuff. I want this day to be special, alright?
But if anything,
we shouldn't have said that on that podcast.
So, on a point of a song, you know, we have it set out that it's like this, right? And we recorded it like that. And JoJo and Albert were just like having a musical moment. I don't know. They were like looking in each other's eyes, and they created an entire like.
I mean, how can you not?
Yeah, you know. But there's a whole new song that none of us have ever heard, that like everyone, like Albert whipped out, TJ just threw on some like sick licks like on top of it, so now there's a whole other song in this album that we had never heard until we stepped foot in that studio, that like just got brought out, and now it's going to be on the album.
You guys actually got to write like something like
right then and there.
Studio,
That's so cool.
Just because of the vibe.
Yeah, it's on the tail end of the last song.
That's awesome. Like I've literally have not had that experience yet, but I've like heard it, because I think actually which makes the point like seem more valid, because when I had Jesse in here the other day, he said the same thing about when they wrote Hilt, where he had like the beginning loop, and he's like, and he went to JoJo and like the whole song came out that day, you know,
yeah,
it's
crazy
in the studio kind of thing. And I'm like, oh, that kind of speaks to the same kind of thing where like maybe like I think JoJo just has that quality where he like can bring that out like and everybody and help out, you know. Writing stuff in the studio must be so like crazy. Like when I hear that, like it's like, oh, like we have stuff, but we're writing the whole thing in the studio. I'm like, that's crazy.
That's insane. It's insane. But it's very much, I feel like, you know, you don't worry about outside for a while or whatever is happening like outside life. It's kind of one of those like what happens in the studio stays in the studios. You know what I mean? Like you just get in there and like.
I don't know what band it was, but I think that there was a band that like locked themselves like in a house or whatever, and like didn't let themselves come out until they produced an album. And like I wish I remember what band it was.
For the Black Parade album,
I think that was it.
It was like a haunted house. Yeah, have you heard about that?
I haven't heard.
Okay, all right, hold on. So My Chemical Romance I read this in like one of the old alt press like magazines or whatever.
Okay.
So for the Black Parade, they literally like went to this crazy weird haunted mansion that was creepy and whatever, and they're like, we're just gonna be locked in here, no one can leave.
What?
I forgot who, but one of the members was like, F this, I'm out of here, this is creepy, I want to go home. So he wasn't even a part of it. And like they just slowly like fell into this madness of like fighting with each other. Like Gerard Way was like isolating himself. I'm pretty sure they might have been doing mind expanding substances.
Yeah.
But the press thing isn't going to say that part of it. But literally, and they like came up with the name because like Gerard was leaving cryptic little notes all over the house, just being a weirdo. And like that's how they came up with like a lot of song titles, like themes, like the name The Black Parade.
Yeah.
Like, of just them going crazy in this weird house, like writing it up. I want to do that with y'all at some point.
Whatever gets the album done, man.
Yeah,
You know?
whatever works.
Look what came out.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's worth the risk, right? I don't know.
It's worth the discussion, that's for sure.
I think like since coming back from the pandemic, like the first show back at Gas Monkey, was just like, okay, we finally got to debut a new song. For the past 2 years we've been playing shows. We had only played the same set relatively, kind of messed around, moved it around, but getting to play a new song.
Yeah, that was kind of dope. Yeah,
that was definitely a breath of fresh air. You know, after playing that, I was just like, man, there's sounds, there's like moments, spots I want to happen now that I'm back on stage.
Yeah.
Now that I feel the I don't know, you call it like a sugar rush or something,
like the
being in that moment, the adrenaline,
the sugar rush.
When you had a pop,
a little sody pop.
My addict was just like high. It's adrenaline, that's healthy.
No, it must feel like a breath of fresh air because, like, I think performance is part of the writing process. 'Cause I've had that happen a bunch of times where you write a song and then play it live, and it's like, you know what would hit? Like, now that I like played it and saw like what I felt like while I was playing it live, it's like, oh, okay, maybe we can switch this up. Like, I think it just adds to that. But for you guys to play something new after not being able to play it all, like, just must feel like awesome.
It was dope. Yeah, band morale was up.
After all, and then our boy got sick right after, but he stuck through.
both of us were sick actually.
I think I heard about that.
We were really wanting to power through, and like you guys, like we have to play this show. It's Gas Monkey, but they stuck it out. They're troopers.
I would say worth it. Getting to see a bunch of friends, new faces, hearing new bands play, just being in that setting in general, it's just really nice.
We were pretty stubborn too. It was the first show back, So, and then of course it all happened on that day. Thankfully, I didn't sing or anything, I didn't want to take any chances, but we actually had a video got released, the one that Marco did for us. So beautiful,
good.
talented man. And the funniest thing is that you go back and watch that video, you could never even tell that we were like pretty down in the shit for a second.
Not at all.
So it's good that adrenaline, talking about it really carried us through the show. But as soon as we were off the stage, as soon as we left the stage,
I was loading off my kit. You were,
That's where I heard from it. It was you. I think it was like, oh, they just like feel like shit like right now. I was like, we were like, what? Like they just like jam the fuck out. Like I was like, what the hell? What do you mean?
I was sitting on a stool, kind of like this, drinking water. It was like I went to war or something. I was just dead in the eyes, just looking just straight ahead, just like.
I know, Albert was kneeled in the grass, like puking up his like life force. Yeah, it was a good
during
time.
the video, during the set, shout out Polarize My Films, hit him up on Facebook, Instagram, while he was filming us, I really didn't want him to get too close to my face because I was just so snotty.
Ew,
I didn't want to get like a booger like shown on camera, so I was just like, let me just move my head as fast as I can,
There's like a shot where just snot.
just laying. That's what I wanted to avoid, but if it looked great,
don't zoom in on
Just
that
there
video.
front row.
Yep.
Just just get excited. Just not hit me.
I mean, yeah, you're always like, whenever you come to our show, I noticed you're always up in the front row. You're like always like right up there, and like I will never like whenever you capture like little like moments, like little flashes that you like hang on in this memory. Like Gas Monkey, like is definitely one of those memories. Like you and DJ like up at the front, just we're all like mid song. That's totally like it's good stuff, and we're just so happy to be back, and just like
I think we're all like happy that you guys are back, and then like music is back, live music is back, and I feel it's a good vibe. And like how are you gonna like stay home and like stay in the back like when like your friends are out there playing? It's like I've been to so many shows of like the same people, like just seeing them over and over like the past like few weeks, just because I can, what I mean? Because you can be there and you can like go see them, and it doesn't take much, and it's like yes, like I want to sit in the front, I want to see you guys, like because you guys have fun. Like I said yesterday, we just saw like Ryker and like I mean everybody, like Edward's in that band, DJ's in that band, and Kyle, and like it's just a fun time. Like I love to see my friends like just having fun.
Yeah, just up there smiling and like getting.
It's a good time. You know what I mean? Like that's one thing like that you guys definitely capture too. Like when you guys play, it's just like seems like a party. It just seems like a fun time, and just like that's such an important thing with like performance, because it's just like that's what to quote Will Ferrell, gets the people going. Yeah.
Yes.
But it does, like, it makes you feel like part of, like, oh, like, they're having fun, like, I want to have fun with them. I'm here, I'm having fun with them.
Yeah, definitely.
No, it's definitely something you guys are definitely great at, like, in capturing. The Gas Monkey performance, like, I saw that and was like, that's so cool. I saw clips of the Lola show. I couldn't make that one, but you guys, like, again, like, you guys just jam out.
Thank you so much.
That was home field advantage right there.
Yeah, I mean,
we played at Lola's quite a bit.
Yeah.
School of Rock Days, like almost every other show or something for a while there was at Lola's trailer park.
Yeah, every like 4 months we would have end of season shows, and so we would be playing like at least two shows every 4 months, and so like even through School of Rock, like we're still getting that like venue exposure, and a lot of those shows were at Lola's. And so
same sound guy, what was it, Joe? Joe and Bo was his helper.
Joe and Bo.
Shout out Joe and Bo.
Yeah. Have a dog named Bo. Miss you, Bo.
Yes.
Love you.
That's funny. Yeah, but that's cool. That's cool that you guys get to play places that you guys have played before. Any, I mean, other than Lola's, I mean, any like favorite places that you.
Ooh, Green Elephant is a Green Elephant.
Oh my God! You guys, give me this. Green Elephant.
Like that is such a dope venue to me. I know it's Dallas, right? Yeah. We've Deep Ellum, Dallas.
I feel bad because I kind of forget about that show. That show's like a fever dream to me.
Yeah, I just remember like the lighting was dope. I remember the sound. Like we have like an issue with like there's normally some problem with sound like at our live shows.
Really?
Something it's like we can't hear someone's thing cuts out, like vocals can't be heard. Yeah. We make it through, it's no big deal. But
monitor won't work.
Yeah, something's just weird always. But Green Elephant, there was beautiful sound. Like it was a dope show. I think they were playing like Mortal Kombat competitions at one point.
There was Mortal Kombat set up, but they didn't want none of that.
There was no competition.
So I gracefully took myself out of that term.
Yeah, we've heard about you. No professionals this time.
I'm no Sonic Fox, but but I get it done.
Did y'all have any like venues y'all like? That was one I liked a lot.
One I really enjoyed. Well, it's a tie between two. One is definitely the Gas Monkey stage.
Yeah.
Playing on that stage
for
was
sure.
just, man, even just the view on that stage. I know I'm not really thinking about that, but just playing there in general was nice. I love open air venues like that.
Open air, like that, just being outside was just a cool little like, little like lake thing. They have it's a very nice
children playing, And I think like the second venue I would have to say we got to play Red Goose Saloon.
Oh, that was
just
a cool
playing
one.
in downtown
Yeah,
in general.
I forgot about that
is tight. I've always wanted to do that. I've never seen a venue do that, and just even like having to climb up the stairs and bring up like 45-pound
that
amps
part
and stuff. That part
was that the what was it, Punk Drunk Goose?
Yeah,
Yes.
It was like tiny up there, so it was like packed.
So packed, yeah.
That crowd was
I love like a tiny venue that's just like packed.
Yes. All the like vibes and energy.
Like get crazy. Like,
Yeah, that was a cool place. I forgot about that one.
yeah, definitely. Like that is definitely a little cool venue, and like I said, like in the middle of like downtown, like right by Sundance. Like
Exactly.
It's so insane. That's cool. Okay, yeah, that's definitely a few of some good places.
And then we're very excited to play Chill Sounds and Breakdowns.
Oh yes,
2,
also a great venue.
the sequel.
That's a good segue.
The wheels are turning. The wheels are turning for a second. How am I gonna get out of this?
He called me lacking. I was like, I don't know what this is.
Dude, I'll keep this shit going all day.
The reason we're here, yeah. Chill Sounds and Breakdowns, yeah, too. Which you guys would have played both. Like you're gonna be playing you're what I don't know. So you have tenure now. I don't know.
Right. I say that's seniority, but like there's some lore in there.
There's some lore.
We're talking about.
We have
This is your first Chill Sounds? Yeah.
I remember my first Chill Sounds.
There you go.
But no, it's cool. I know. Like we're all excited to have you guys play again. I mean, you guys have played the venue before. It's super like pretty. It's super nice out there. The indoor, outdoor like stage setup. There's gonna be a bunch of different things happening.
I've heard about cool
so
stuff.
excited about all of that.
Cool
Yes.
things like happen, like extra stuff that just like have just come about because of like how much support it's like gotten, like and how much like DJ has worked on it. Like,
Oh,
he's
dude.
put so much work into this. And like he's like, oh, you've helped out. I was like, I'm literally like your idea person and stuff, like for things, like, but you're the one that's like doing all this
like
work.
actually
Like all he'll do is ask me my opinion on stuff, and he gives me so much credit for things, and I'm like, oh, I didn't do anything, dude. This is all you. Like you're doing all this work, man. Like you're doing everything, and yeah, cause like Blaze Culture is supposed to be out there setting up like their half pipe ramps and skate ramps.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
did
we
hear
did
there
hear
the
about
skate
that.
ramps, like different food trucks I've heard are gonna be.
It's gonna be a hot ass day, but we're gonna have ramen. Out
I
there.
will am
my
gonna
God.
slurp some ramen. Yeah. Immediately.
We have like the trapaletas and the trapelotes guy.
Yes.
So there's gonna be like tons of stuff, tons of vendors, and a ton of bands. It's just like, and what I like. I was talking to Ryker yesterday actually. But it's a show where like I think people play together that wouldn't normally play together. Like it's such a nice like highlight of like like the talent just that we have around here. And plus now with vendors we'll get to see like a different type of talent that we have out there. Like there's a tons of different I guess just like great art just all around.
It feels like a giant like art festival modge podge of different, from like food to like visuals to like hear it, what
Music.
Thank you, Listenables.
the pleasant listenables.
It's just really cool that it's right here in Fort Worth too. Being a Fort Worth band, we have other bands who played here same amount of time as us. Bands who've been like just starting up. Maybe they've been here a little bit longer. But just getting to play with all of them is just tight. The first one, I can't remember the lineup off the top of my head, but I remember even then, like, we would have, like, different genres going on right after each band played, another one started. Yeah. And I think that's just cool that we have it right here.
Yeah.
It's here, yeah. It's right here in Fort Worth, which I think, we have a lot to offer, but we don't have a lot of, I think, places to, like, get it going.
Exactly.
Or like, events like this, you know what I mean? And I like that DJ's kind of made it his, like, job and responsibility to be like, you know what, I did it once, I want to do it bigger, and like his goal is just to keep going and raising it above that. And I'm like, that's what I go, I feel like we need something like it. We definitely have the talent for it, you know what I mean? Like we have the music and like everything that it's available like right around here, and it's like, let's just bring something here. And I think he's done like such an amazing job for that, and I'm so excited for it to happen. I'm so excited for you guys to play.
Yes.
August 28th, Chill Sounds and Breakdowns. Badasstronauts will be playing there. Come be
Yay! Woo, woo, woo.
Yeah, I mean, thank you guys for coming on the podcast.
Thank you for letting us having us.
It's a very fun time.
It was fun.
Yeah,
It was a good time.
I got some exclusive information. I'm gonna find out about this secret song here,
Okay.
after this cuts off. But again, no, thank you for stopping by. We appreciate it, and yeah, come see Badasstronauts August 28th. Chill Sounds and Breakdowns.
We'll see you there.
Thank you.
We'll all be there.
Yes.
We'll be there.
Thank you.
Yay.